What's good, world? Welcome to New to the Game podcast, the podcast for the casual NBA fan.
Yes. Now, when we say a podcast for the casual NBA fan, we're talking about the intersections of the NBA, whether that's fashion, whether that's music, whether that's drama, or even the sport. We're just talking about the things that are around the NBA. Now, my name is Ayati, one of your co-hosts. This is,
And I'm the Black Thumb, and yeah, we're really here to go on this journey of casual NBA fandom and support you in your journey of casual NBA fandom, and learn a few things along the way. So, with that being said, what do you want to talk about today, Ayati?
this time though, I want to talk about games.
Okay.
Like low key, I want to talk about a couple games in particular.
Okay.
I want to talk about the Nuggets versus Golden State, and it was San Antonio versus the Bucks. Now, disclaimer, folks, I am a casual fan. I did not watch any of these games. I missed them motherfuckers. I had shit going on, doing work, shit, life, and I just was like, oh shit, it was a game today. And honestly, one of them I could have watched, but my ass went to go roller skate instead. I had a good time too. But I got back, popped in that YouTube summary. So it's these little short summaries, and I forgot how much I enjoy these because I'm a casual fan. So the YouTube shorts will take a whole 2-hour game and make this shit like 10 minutes. And it's nothing but dunks and shots. For a casual fan like myself, I don't need none of that other bullshit. I don't want to hear them motherfucking announcers. I don't want to see no commercials. All that shit gone. It's just dunk, shot. It's just the meat to me. And all the fat and bone and everything else is gone. So that's how I watched them games. But they were so, I was like, damn, I should have watched this live. Some of that back and forth between these two squads. So I don't know which one you want to talk about first, or which one you think we should start with.
So let's start with the Bucks versus the Spurs. And so for those of you that are new to the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks have a generational talent in Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Mm-hmm.
You mind saying his name for me one good time? Give me your best shot at Giannis's name.
Because I want to respect my mans, and I want to actually be able to say his name.
Okay, so let's practice.
So let's go ahead and get that. His name is Giannis. No?
Jan.
It's Giannis? Like, it's a silent G? Okay, it's Giannis. Damn. Boy, I put that off jump. So Giannis Antetokounmpo.
That is the best one.
Yes!
That's the best one you've done. That is the best.
Was it right, though?
It was the closest. That is the closest you've ever gotten to saying his name.
Because I like my man.
But the beautiful thing about it is like, you're not the only one. When this dude first got in the league, like, no one could say his name.
Yeah.
Like, literally, announcers were like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Antetokounmpo for three.
They got caught in the middle.
See, I was calling him Giannis. I was calling him Giannis Alphabet. Because it's just all the alphabets on the back of his fucking name. It was Giannis and all the alphabets.
Giannis Alphabet.
Because it was like it was 26 letters across the back of his jersey. I was like, damn, this shit go from fucking shoulder blade to shoulder blade. It was like a rainbow. I was like, damn, this fucking name is crazy. But my man's is rocking the culture hard.
Yeah,
I was like,
time.
I have to respect it. I just can't say it. It's not even out of disrespect. It's just like, I ain't got no practice, bro. So if you want to come here and sit down with me and help me say your name right, I'm with it.
Yeah, come through.
Come through, Giannis. Come through, Giannis. Let me say your name right, bro. Like,
absolutely. So we have Giannis playing for Milwaukee. He is generational talent, led Milwaukee to a championship in 2021. They recently got Damian Lillard over the summer in a big free agent signing. And they've been playing very well this year. Like, they started off a little shaky, but they've really found their stride early in the season. Mm-hmm. On the other side of that, we have the San Antonio Spurs, who are in full-on rebuilding mode, right? But the saving grace of the San Antonio Spurs is that they got the number 1 pick in the draft this past year, and that afforded them the opportunity to draft Victor Wembanyama, who is also another generational talent in that regard. Yeah. And I know you have thoughts, feelings, and emotions about both of these players.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you take the floor and just, well, before we do that, the Spurs are trash. Let's just be for real. Let's just call it what it is. They are playing like hot fucking garbage right now. But with that being said, what was the biggest thing that caught your eye in the highlights that you watched from that game?
For me, it was Wemby. For me, he's the baby whale. Like, this motherfucker is a blue whale, but he's a baby. So he still has a lot of potential and he moves a lot of shit. And when he gets to his caliber, it's no stopping this shit.
Yeah.
And for when I saw them highlights, this motherfucker doing behind the backs, off the backboard to his motherfucking self and dunking that shit against the Bucks. That's what I said. The Spurs problem ain't him. And it's like, he ain't got shit to prove. Like, he's rookie, and they say, you got to come in and prove yourself. Clearly, he ain't got shit to prove.
Why do you say that?
Because he's doing shit, like, off the backboard and dunking it to himself. Like, that's some bullshit. It's like some shit you do like at the All-Star game.
Yeah, that's a cheat code.
Not in a live game unless you motherfucking Kobe and you can, practice this shit and your skill set's so fucking high, you know you're going to fuck it up. Nobody not sure what they thought all that shit he was doing overseas. Oh, that's just he was playing some Europeans. No, this motherfucker doing shit to you motherfuckers now. And I said, he ain't got shit to prove. And then on the other end, Popovich, as a coach, he ain't got to prove shit either. Like, let's be real, it's the Spurs. He did a lot of shit with them motherfuckers. And they can't say, well, maybe it's coaching. It ain't coaching. So if it ain't the coach and it ain't Wemby, it's all you other motherfuckers. And I just feel like watching that game, I was like, why am I passing the ball to Wemby? Nobody else should be getting the motherfucking ball. This motherfucker big, he agile, and he will shoot, and he will dunk. Give him the ball. At this point, if nothing else working, give him the ball until he fuck up. And right now, it just seemed like these motherfuckers ain't giving him the ball. And the shit he was doing against Giannis, he blocked Giannis. I was sitting there like, man, this motherfucker blocked that shit. Now they was going back and forth. Don't get me wrong, I ain't taking nothing away from Giannis that he got like dunked on, but he dunked on that motherfucker back.
Yeah.
But the rest of you motherfuckers was not holding it down against this caliber of a team. So with that said, for them to only lose by a fucked up shot at the end, where honestly I personally feel like Wemby should have took that shot.
Agreed.
Even though he wasn't open, I feel more confident in a contended Wemby shot than any of you motherfuckers being open at this point. Because y'all losing. It ain't. Only thing these other players are proving is that they going to get their ass traded. Because even after this season being shitty, let's say they end this motherfucker the exact opposite of what I thought. I thought they were going to be NBA champions. And these motherfuckers end this season as just damn near a little bit above the fucking Detroit Pistons. The only thing it's going to prove is that all you other motherfuckers got to go. Because we did not trade all these people and put so much risk into getting Wemby for us to make any other decisions without the baby whale. So I think that's why he can chill. Like, yeah, he probably frustrated. Like, fuck, I got so much more I can do because he's just that competitive. But all I think Popovich is going to do is going to say, all right, so I'm getting rid of this motherfucker. I'm getting rid of this motherfucker. He ain't here. Right now, Popovich is doing the best of what he got. He can't do nothing. He ain't got nothing to trade. He probably maxed out money right now. He can't make moves during the season. And all these other motherfuckers want to prove some shit by not giving the ball to the guy that has notoriety and shit. They like, oh, he knew. I'm new too. I got some shit to prove. Like, dude, at this point, you would be better off giving the ball to the one you know is probably better than all you motherfuckers and show that you're willing to, like, humble yourself to try to win than to say, I'm going to take this shit in my own hands, and you are not that guy. At this point, no one else on that team is that guy. Besides the baby whale.
Bro, you are heated about this shit right now.
Got me mad. Y'all even thought they should have lost that game. That was some that shit I saw. Like, this motherfucker did a what is behind the back and shit. I was in there like, yeah, this motherfucker blocking motherfuckers.
Yes, he was everywhere, bro.
He was all over. And I was like, I was mad as fuck when they lost that game. Man, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's against one of my other favorite players. Of course, I want Giannis to get another win. I mean, at the end of the day, shit, I love watching them, especially with Dame Dollar too. I'm like, yeah, that's a squad. So I'm sitting there feeling torn. I'm rooting between both of them, but I seen a new guy come up, and it was frustrating. The game was frustrating because I feel like y'all got this close to beating this team, and honestly, Wemby's the only useful shit probably. Nothing to do with them locks. I don't know who that motherfucker is. Vassell. He was low-key dropping buckets. Yeah, he's a bucket.
He's good.
So it's them two against proven high-caliber ass players.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of you motherfuckers is trash. Bench, everything. I'm just sitting there like, damn, y'all just think, oh, y'all, this is all on y'all back, huh? And y'all got this close. That's why I was like, okay. If I was in the owner's seat, all you motherfuckers got to go. Like, I'm getting rid of all your motherfuckers. I hope we have a terrible record so I can get some better shit. But all y'all won't get traded. Y'all gone, brother. Y'all ain't show me nothing that I need to. I'm not gonna try to say, well, maybe I could use my bargaining chip in Wemby and get me something better. No, he's proven he's fine. Yeah. If people will work with him. And clearly, I don't know what's going on in that motherfucking back locker room, or y'all just mad at each other. Y'all don't want to give the ball to the guy you know will dunk and shit. You don't want to like make him shine even more because I'm pretty sure he's like everywhere he goes, he's a superstar. But fuck, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine they were doing this shit to LeBron when he first came in? Can you imagine they wouldn't give the ball to LeBron when he first got in the league?
Like, it feels like they boycotting Wemby, like, low-key.
Is it because he's a foreigner? Like, he black to me shit. I don't know where the fuck he's from. Like, he homie. Like, he's one of us. Fuck this shit. I don't give a fuck. Just give him the ball. But I couldn't imagine this shit happening to anybody else that was highly rated and anticipated, and you decided not to get this motherfucker the ball.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there witnessing this shit like, you been lucky this big ass motherfucker ain't socking y'all out in the locker room. Like, fuck you. Like, he must be a cool dude. Like, to be this frustrated and not want to whoop y'all asses. Because I'll be like, give me the ball. Stop taking the ball. Y'all are trash. Give me the ball. But I get it. It's probably that team thing. They getting groomed to be team players. Popovich is also not going to crack the whip and say, okay, I got to start. I'm going to focus on my start. He never was like that, it looked like. But, nah, that game, it showed me. On a 9-minute highlight, showed me y'all motherfuckers out here something going wrong. I don't know what's going on, but clearly y'all did damn good, and y'all record don't reflect what's possible. That's where I will leave it with that. Spurs record does not reflect the assets they have and the possibility. It's something else going on, and I can't wait till offseason comes.
Because you think everybody hit on the chopping block.
Everybody's gone. I personally think the whole team is about to get traded off. Bye. And draft some new motherfuckers.
I think to your point, I think so first things first, the Spurs are I think they're the youngest team in the NBA. And to your point earlier, you talked about like a lot of these guys being unproven, and I think what happens early in young NBA players' careers is they think the only way that they can prove themselves is by scoring.
Yeah.
They forget that, no, you can prove yourself by locking down on D. You can prove yourself by getting boards. You can prove yourself by getting assists. And I think Popovich is he's obviously an all-time great coach. He's more than proven his self, and as a coach, as a motivator, as a mentor, all of those, as a leader, all of those things, right? But I think, it's kind of like, like parents that have kids much, much older. Like when you get older, you get a little bit like, nah, we're going to let some shit slide. We're going to let this shit slide. I don't have the energy to be on your head all the time, right? And so I think there's a little bit of that going on. I think the young team is really feeling, everybody's kind of playing for themselves. But number one, they don't have a true point guard. So Jeremy, I think his name is Jeremy Sohan. Okay. The guy with the different color hair.
Oh,
He's their point guard, but he's not a natural true point guard. He's not a CP3 type point guard. So he's learning a new position, and he's more of a wing player where, like, when I get the ball, my first instinct is to try to make a move and go score, right? Like, he's not a playmaker by design. And I think that Popovich's system is really about like playing as a team, swinging the ball, a lot of motion, a lot of movement. That's what Steve Kerr brought to Golden State, and that's what won them all those championships, right? And so I'm watching this game, live, which is something that I don't do very often. And Wemby's at the top of the key, and he's just like, he's the facilitator, like he's swinging the ball, hoping that the motherfucker gonna come back.
So he being the motherfucking playmaker.
Exactly. He's hoping the ball's gonna come back at some point. But like, to me, it feels like they're not running plays for him. Like, and when he swings the ball, to me, it feels like the person that gets the ball or the player that gets the ball is like, oh, I got a green light to go do what I gotta do, right? And I mean, like some of the, like, folks, if you have a chance, go on YouTube, go on wherever you watch NBA highlights, and just watch Victor Wembanyama's highlights, and in particular the highlights where like he doesn't get the ball, because like some of the shit is unreal. Like he's wide open underneath the basket. He's 7'4" with an 8-foot wingspan, and they won't toss the ball up in the air to him. It is unreal how his teammates don't involve him in the offense. And what happened in that game in particular is in the first half, he played 12 minutes and had 8 points. In the second half, he played 14 minutes and ended up scoring 19 points. And the only difference was that
every minute
he scored, essentially.
It was 14 minutes, he got 19 points.
Yes.
So he got more than a point per minute.
Correct. And
he was out there.
Yes. And the only reason it happened
fuck that.
was because they finally passed him the ball. And Wemby has to take a little bit of accountability too. Like, he's got to learn, and this is something that you learn as a young player, especially as a young centerpiece, like cornerstone type player. You learn how to be more aggressive offensively. So, like, he's got to get the ball and be like, nah, motherfuckers, no one else is getting the ball. I have the ball. He's got to get a little bit more Carmelo Anthony in him. Like, he's got to be a little bit more of a black hole. Like, when I get the ball, no, I'm trying to get my shit off. And if I get doubled, then y'all will be good. Like, I know I can find shooters or whatever. So I think it's a combination of all of those three.
But how much of that do you think boils down to maybe Wemby is actually not defiant? Like, clearly, he's being told to pass the ball, and he's doing that. Because I think he'll do what he's being told to do. And I don't think Popovich is saying, all right, fuck that. You just do what you got to do.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I think he would just do that because he did that shit overseas. Yeah, it was just him. He was like, fuck it. I'm doing all the shit. But he's on a team now it's historically known that it was never one motherfucker. Ever. And all the motherfuckers was good. They could clearly just been, I'm going to hold the ball and do what I got to do. But they always move the ball. And I know that as a casual fan. Spurs was kind of not fun to watch because you want the dominant player to just keep being dominant. And I'm like, well, why do you motherfuckers pass the goddamn ball so much? But do you see how effective that shit was? So I'm sitting there like, maybe he listening. Like when he in the fucking huddle where they had practice and shit, and Popovich is probably saying, look, this is a team. It's not about one person. He probably taking that shit to heart. Like, okay, this ain't how I will do it, but fuck it. My coach said doing that shit. Maybe he's really growing during this season. And that's, to me, I think that's why he's not going to get traded. Like, he's probably doing what he's told.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even if
at the cost of his ego and his career right now, because he ain't looking that good.
Yeah, I mean, I would say even if he was on the other side of the spectrum where he was like the worst teammate ever, he's still not getting traded because his ceiling is so high. But I think that also speaks to why he is going to continue to grow and ascend and get better, because he is willing to be whatever the team needs him to be in that moment or in that season or in that stretch of the season. But I think really what it comes down to, and I think what's different about Wemby's entry into this team compared to like when Tim Duncan got drafted #1 overall, like Tim Duncan came to a team with lots of veterans. Like Avery Johnson was a veteran and a traditional point guard, knew how to get motherfuckers the ball in the spots that they like to get the ball. David Robinson, veteran, former MVP of the league. I think Jeff Hornacek, Sean Elliott, or maybe not Jeff Hornacek. I'm sorry. Sean Elliott was another older veteran. So he came into a team that was much more mature and was much more ready to take that next step. And Tim Duncan was like the key that unlocked that initial championship push. Okay. And then by the time Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili came, Tim Duncan was kind of the elder statesman, and he was so low key and so like, I don't need to be the star, that it allowed Tony Parker to go off. It allowed Manu Ginobili to get off. And so it all kind of worked in tandem. And so I think it really, to your point, it comes down to chemistry.
Exactly. And Spurs is not, right now these motherfuckers playing like they try to be on like ESPN highlights, and they trash. So, but you're on a team that, this is a random tangent. Duncan has faded out of the spotlight. You don't see him at no clubs. You don't see him at shit. He ain't fucking being no host. He ain't doing shit. You don't hear him got a new Ibaka or nothing. He ain't giving a fuck. I don't know where Duncan is at. I didn't even know he had a whole back tattoo the whole time he was playing. Bro, his whole back is tatted and shit. He just had that shit hidden. You'll never know. He didn't put it on Snapchat, Instagram, anything. And these motherfuckers clearly want to be seen. But you're not on a team where they even encourage that shit. You are just going to do your job and get the fuck on. And they're playing more for, like we say, the moment. But at the end of the day, Nah, bro. Like Giannis. Giannis.
There it is.
There you go.
go.
It was a post that Giannis said, I want to fade into, like, when I get done, I want to just not be seen. He would be perfect on the Spurs. He's highly talented, and he don't give a fuck about the shine. He'll do great. He'll kill on that motherfucking team because he's not playing aggressively and getting the spotlight because he wants the spotlight. He's just fucking good, and he's in the spotlight.
Yep.
That's a different story. These motherfuckers want to be seen, but they don't even have the talent to make it happen. Wemby, on the other hand, we can't say if he really wants to shine, but he's going to shine because his talent puts him there. But I think he's on the perfect team because I don't think he's doing it for the clout.
No,
because right now he don't look good, but people know he's good.
Yeah,
and I think that's why he's gonna still be there.
Well, I would say I think he looks good, and I think early in the season, like he was to go along with your analogy of the blue whale, like he was getting his sea legs, so to speak, right to go along with your analogy of being a baby whale. But now I think he obviously is much more comfortable he's much more comfortable at where he is in his career, right? But I think it's just one of them things, man. Like these dudes just like they are only thinking about themselves, and they are thinking about, I got to get a contract extension, or I'm not just auditioning for the Spurs organization, I'm auditioning for the other organizations around the league. But my question to them would be like, okay, if that is truly the case, if you are trying to build the case that you are a mainstay NBA player, what else do you do other than score that's going to help a team? Because if you get traded to the Golden State Warriors, they ain't going to need your ass to fucking score. They don't need Jeremy Sohan to fucking score because he can't. It's just not who he is. Like, even Vassell, he's really good, but you put him on Milwaukee's team, like, bro, you're going to be like the fourth, fifth option.
Yeah.
So what else do you do? What else do you bring to the table that's going to allow you to get minutes? And and this is the thing, most young players don't figure it out until their third or fourth year in the league, especially if they're kind of a fringe guy, because, in high school they were the best. In college, they were probably the best player on their team, right? All conference, all this, all that, all Americans. And then you get to the league where everybody was the best wherever they were.
Yeah.
And you got to kind of figure out where you fit in. And if you don't figure out what level you're at soon enough, you'll be overseas. My advice to them would be like, yo, fucking swing the ball back to Wemby.
Yeah.
Just feed him. So we were talking offline. It was last night. We were talking offline, kind of getting prepped for today's episode or whatever. And you said some stuff about like if you were Wemby's teammate. So walk me through.
Oh,
if you were Wemby's teammate, how would you be moving and shaking on and off the court as his teammate?
Look, Wemby would be so fucking tired. He's a baby whale, but I'm about to feed your ass. You gonna get this ball till you tell me I don't want the ball no more. Like, that's what will be happening. I'm like, this motherfucker big as fuck. No matter who on him, get your ass close to the rim. Get your ass close enough to the rim, and I'm gonna give you this ball. I'll be like, here you go, here you go, here you go. And he gonna be like, God damn, I don't want the ball no more. That's what my approach would be if I was on Wemby team. Just gotta be a fucking assist king. I'd be like, the fuck? How did you get 25 assists? I just kept passing the ball to Wemby ass. I don't think they're doing that. And I think that's that. They doing it for likes. I honestly feel like I can't see no other. They're not doing it for wins. Yeah. They're not winning whatever they're doing. But I think they hoping that they get like that one moment where they did something so hot, and even though it's not long term, for that moment you in the spotlight. And I'm like, okay, this shit, y'all not know what y'all doing. I mean, it's supposed to win games, and literally, I'm the type of kid when I'm playing a video game. If I find a cheat code, I am going to wear that shit out till y'all reset this shit. Mm-hmm. If I'm playing a game, they got a glitch, I'm utilizing that glitch. And right now, I feel like y'all got a glitch in the system. A big motherfucker like that not supposed to be able to have moves. They supposed to be clearly awkward and weird and shit, so you don't give them the ball all the time, because that motherfucker might trip on himself. But I'm like, I got a cheat code. Literally got a cheat code. He only has to jump. Okay, he has about an 8 foot
8-foot wingspan.
So he's 7'4".
Mm-hmm.
His arm is 4 feet long, right?
Yeah.
So when he reaches up, he's at the rim.
He's above the rim.
So he don't got to jump. He just got to walk to it. Technically, that means the only way you're gonna stop this motherfucker from getting that ball, and you gotta kick him in his chest, which is more likely gonna get him to the line. So why not use that cheat code? Because nobody ain't gonna be. Only one gonna do that shit is Draymond Green on the Warriors. He is gonna literally kick him in the nuts or hit him in his chest.
We'll get to him.
Which we're gonna transition to that squad. But to me, that's a cheat code, and that's how I would be playing as Wemby's teammate.
But let's transition to the Milwaukee Bucks side of it because Giannis played his fucking ass off. He had like 40 and maybe 13 to 15 rebounds and a handful of assists, and basically, kind of carried them to that victory. And I think the biggest thing that was so cool about this game in particular is like you see these two unicorn / alien type players built the same way. It's almost
both foreigners.
It's like that Spider-Man meme. They're like, everybody's like, exactly. And it was just like some of the sequences in the game were just so crazy. Like Giannis came down, fucking did a drop step, like spin move, dunk on like 4 motherfuckers, and then the very next play, that's when Wemby, gets caught up, throws it off the backboard, and then yams that shit to him. Like what? Giannis is hitting threes, Wemby's hitting threes. Like, it was such a great game. But yeah, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Giannis and Dame in their season so far? How you feeling about them?
I'm liking the improvement. I think we talked about this a while ago when they first started. I think I mentioned it. Like, they just. Like, you threw me in here and like, oh, we thought we just doing perfect? Like, I just got traded in the offseason and shit. I don't really know this motherfucker. Like, it looked like it wasn't going to work. And now you saying, no, this shit don't work. These motherfuckers playing good. But with that said, you see that they are going to have challenges when there are generational talents around. Because if Wemby was the only thing that they needed to worry about on that team, it didn't look good if they didn't smash on them. Giannis looked great. But the fact he had to do that much and he still only won by a small margin against one superstar, I was like, damn, this motherfucker by himself. What the fuck? Like, it's you. Who else? It's Dame, and what's that? Is it Middleton?
So he
back yet? Was he back that game?
Chris Middleton, and he actually played his first back-to-back game of the season because he's had some injury issues. So the primary players are Chris Middleton, Giannis, Dame, and then I would say probably Brook Lopez is probably their fourth.
Yeah,
he's a little bit of a unicorn himself.
Yeah.
Like he's very much so evolved his game since he came in the league, because he came in the league as a like post up, back to the basket kind of guy, and then reinvented himself and developed a 3-point shot. And I'm still salty that the Lakers let him go in free agency all those years ago, and he's been with Milwaukee ever since, just getting buckets for them.
Yeah, is his brother playing there too?
Yeah, his brother's there too, but he's just on the bench. He's chilling. Robin Lopez he's living his best life, like, collecting checks, sitting on the bench.
It's the only thing that helps because the motherfuckers got different hair.
Yeah,
because like honestly, like his brother ain't that good, but if they got the same hair. From a peripheral standpoint, when you playing ball, you wouldn't be sure which one it is.
That's fair.
And you'd be like, God damn, you gotta be nervous with one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just interchange them and let the other one get a break, and you might just still like, let me back up on this one. Like, no, that's not that one. Fuck it. Like, it'll still fuck with your game a little bit by just interchanging them a lot. So in my mind, they got 2 Lopez's just because if they make them cut the same hair, it's the same person. It's doppelganger. Like, fuck that. I'll be cheating. Like, I like cheat codes. I'm like, no, you gotta cut your hair. I want you to look just like your brother so I can confuse people. When I take your brother out and put you in there, you ain't as good as your brother, but they still think his ass is out there. They're gonna make plays about your brother and then realize, oh, this motherfucker, that's not the one. Shit, I just ran over this one. Wow, like, but that's a random side note. But damn, what the fuck was I talking about? I got lost on my.
Well, no, you were just talking about how things have really come together for Milwaukee, but the fact that Giannis is still having to work really, really hard. And well, not even Giannis, but the fact that they didn't beat a pretty bad Spurs team by a pretty comfortable margin. And I think you bring up a really great point, and that's really kind of been the Achilles heel of the Bucks all season. Last year, they were one of the top defensive teams in the league. A lot of that was because of their personnel, right? They had Drew Holiday, who is known to be one of the best defensive guards in the league. They also had, obviously, Giannis kind of packing the paint, swatting things, and then Brook Lopez as well. So they had 3 really good defensive players that anchored them on defense. And now that Drew Holiday is gone, Brook Lopez is a year older. Dame is there. He's not the same defender. I mean, he's never been a defender. He's always been an offensive player first, right? But he's obviously not Drew Holiday from a defensive standpoint. And so I think that is the concern that Milwaukee is going to have come playoff time is, are we going to be able to put teams away? But if they're going to be playing these really, really close games because they're not playing good team defense, then over the span of, an 82 to 100 game season, it could come back to bite you, especially because the Milwaukee Bucks are pretty old. So I feel like they do have some things to work on, but I agree with you. I think they're in a decent spot right now.
They're not moving, in my mind, like championship move. It's like, I'm sure they built that squad in the hopes that they're getting another championship. And on paper, it right now the way they playing, I think they have contendership. But the fact that it was more of like a struggle, it was like a real battle. And Giannis had to fill up ridiculous numbers for y'all to win that.
He had to hit back-to-back threes down the stretch too, which, like, let's be real.
It could have just been people was off that night. It could have been his other people were off and he just had to step up. But it still was like,
Yeah, but if you're relying on Giannis to hit 3-point shots down the stretch to win games, regular season, preseason, postseason, in-season tournament, that's not a recipe for long-term success because he just doesn't hit enough of those at a high enough percentage for you to rely on that night in and night out. Now, Dame, that's obviously a completely different story. We expect him to make those types of shots. You said you wanted to chat a little bit about the Golden State Warriors playing the Denver Nuggets. So, full disclosure for me, I watched maybe the first quarter and a half of this game. It was a good game. It was a pretty good game, tightly contested game early. But I didn't see anything else past that. So I'm relying on your YouTube highlights to give me the context that I need to have an opinion about what the fuck is going on. So you tell me what were your takeaways from this game? What caught your eye? And just general overall feelings about it.
What I took from it, I'm going to take a note from our last discussion with a championship caliber team and their performance. The Nuggets demonstrated that they are in championship contendership. So from what I've noticed, the game, of course, was started out really tight, but the Golden State did what Golden State does. They fucking broke that lead out so damn far. I think they was up by fucking 20 points at one point.
Wow.
It looked like that shit was in the bag for them. And the way the motherfucking Nuggets slowly but surely chopped that shit back down and brought it back to we tied with only 3 fucking seconds left on the motherfucking clock. And Joker just throw this random ass motherfucking shot from far as fuck away and landed that bitch and won the fucking game. And I was like, damn, I thought some motherfuckers had lost that shit third quarter. I was like, damn, the Nuggets lost this shit. Golden State was out there looking, man, Curry cooking and shit. Just I'm like, this shit is in the bag. But as I kept watching my summary on YouTube, I started looking wait a minute now. This shit the deficit started to close. That's how these points is starting to, what the fuck happening? I'm just confused. What is happening? Damn, they really about to drop the ball. It was a reversal of roles. It seemed like Golden State do this to everybody else. The motherfuckers be down by 27 points. And out of nowhere, they just close this motherfucking deficit and then beat your ass by 15. It probably didn't feel good to have that shit happen to themselves. Cause I was sitting there that shit got fucking hurt. And the way he threw that weird ass shot, and that motherfucker went in nicely. And I looked at a highlight. They said that Joker has only missed 5 shots
in the last 4 games. That is insane. So
you could just imagine what happened during this game. I'm telling you, it was just they was out there look confident. I'm telling you, Golden State, I'm pretty sure in their head they're we got this shit. This is our fucking game. Clay out there fucking it up. Boom, boom. I'm like, damn. But then with Joker, it's just they never lose this sight. They never think they're about to lose this game. You can tell the Nuggets no, we got this shit. These motherfuckers are going to definitely be in the finals again. There's no way in the world that it ain't Denver versus somebody else.
Everything you just expressed, I felt the exact same shit when on opening night when they beat the shit out the Lakers. like beat the fucking shit out the Lakers, bruh. And I was like, oh, like we not gonna win the championship this year. We can't fuck with them. Barring injury, if they stay healthy, no one's fucking with them. And this is what I love about Denver's team. And I think this is really where the league is headed now, is you gotta build a team. You can't buy a team anymore.
Dang, okay.
Right? There's a slow paradigm shift happening in the league where you've got to have a good scouting department. You got to have a good development department. Yeah. You've got to draft and develop your players. And so this is where I think small market teams have a leg up on some of the bigger market teams like Los Angeles, where like Los Angeles, like we're used to just like saying, oh, you're a free agent? Come on over, right? Like, come on over, or we'll trade for someone, right? Yeah. Like we typically don't keep a lot of our players that we draft. So we've let so many of the players that we drafted go because we were trying to get Anthony Davis, or we were trying to get, some other big name players, right? Or LeBron or whatever. And so I think what I love about Denver is that they are not only set up to win right now, but like they're young players. Christian Brown, but it's spelled like Braun. But
Brown.
It's Brown. But
it's E at the end?
No. It's spelled Braun, but it's pronounced Brown.
Like Braun, but Brown.
But it's pronounced Brown.
Okay. All right, Brown.
Yeah.
Shit.
So Christian Brown.
English language for you.
I'm trying to tell you. That shit is a mystery sometimes. I
struggle saying Antetokounmpo and shit. And we got taught how not to even use syllables. This does not spell Brown. In my mind, that was Braun, but I'm like, what the fuck?
They were like, Christian Brown? I was like, you mean Braun? They was like, no, Christian Brown. Okay, cool. Okay. So yeah, they have young bench players that are contributing at a high level, but they still have, obviously, Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon. You know what I'm saying? And so they're like this beautiful mix of veteran players that have been there, done that, know how to get it done, and young guys. Christian Brown played really, really key minutes in the playoffs last year, so he's got some good experience, even though he's only a second-year player. And that's the beautiful thing about Denver. Like, they are built to win now and in the future. And that is basically how teams are going to win championships moving forward.
Well, with that said, all right, let's say, hypothetically speaking, how many championships do Denver got to win that it makes it an attractive place that players want to go, like LA? Like, what is it going to take for people like, I want to play for Denver? They going to have to win a lot of motherfucking games to be a team where people they can now just buy people. Like, I don't think nobody just want to go play for Denver. Like, even if they get in the max contract, I don't think they want to. Like, I'm gonna go to Denver.
I'm gonna push back on that, because here's the thing. Like, I think number one, I think Denver has exploded in overall just like popularity in general, right? So like folks, we live in Los Angeles. It's a lot of motherfuckers that used to live in Los Angeles that now live in Denver. It's a lot of motherfuckers that used to live in Southern California that now live in Colorado. Like, what? Colorado is a popular place for people to migrate from super fucking expensive places to go to. And now so much so that Denver's housing market is starting to rival some of the larger markets, right? This is the other piece to that too. I think Jokic is he is like the ideal superstar because he doesn't want the spotlight.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to score a lot of points. Could you imagine if like someone like Kevin Durant played with him? Could you imagine if someone even you put Klay Thompson on that team, right? All you got to do is stand in the corner because he's going to find you. And so I think that in itself is attractive. And I think a lot of players now, especially I think younger in their careers, and we talked about this in our Spurs Milwaukee Bucks segment, like, it's about me, right? Like, yeah. I'm trying to get mine. I'm trying to establish myself. I'm trying to get this award. I'm trying to get that award. But I think as you get older and as you get a little wiser in your career, you realize okay, yeah, so what? I won a scoring title. What the fuck does that mean? Did it really get me? Exactly. Did it really contribute to my bottom line in a meaningful and lasting way, right? Whereas you can, once you're an NBA champion, you can say that shit forever. And for perpetuity, assuming you keep your nose clean, you don't do dumb shit, that can give you a lot of rope for endorsement deals, those types of things. Yeah. And so a lot of times players will go to places that might not be the most attractive from a like, what are we doing in this city type thing. Like you might not go there for a week for a guy's weekend or a girl's weekend, you know what I'm saying, with your friends because it ain't that much to do or the shit doesn't really align with who you are and what you value. But if I can go there and win a championship and maybe win multiple championships, like, and play with a transcendent generational talent like Jokic, where I know he's going to pass the ball. I know he's not a ball hog, right? He's averaging 10 to 12 assists every season. You know what I'm saying? Like, I also know that on most nights when we walk into the arena, the best motherfuckers on my team, not on the other team. And so I think those are the types of things that I think as players get a little bit deeper into their career, they think about those things outside of, because like, let's be for real, like you got 4 or 5 months off in the off season. If you really want to be in LA or be in New York or be in one of these big markets, then go live your ass in the off season and come get this work during the season, win these championships, and then go celebrate in the off season where you really want to be. You feel me? And so I think a lot of that has changed some of the dynamics within the league as well.
But I'm gonna push back on that again, though. Okay. Push back on your pushback.
Okay, all right.
You don't hear motherfuckers saying, "Yeah, I want to play for Denver because I could do X, Y, Z on the outside." Like if you come to LA, you can possibly be involved in the movie industry. You could possibly be in these random club scenes and shit. Same thing if you playing for Miami, just a whole bunch of asses and shit. What's the peripheral shit that Denver offers to these mega wealthy ass athletes besides thin ass air because they fucking high high ass mountains and shit? And I guess maybe the weed.
That's what I was gonna say. Like the trees, the trees in nature and the trees that get you high. That's a pool.
It's a pool, but it's also shunned against thing that they can't publicly put out in the forefront. So it's like I still think that Denver gonna have to do some shit as a team consecutively and as a city to literally attract motherfuckers who gonna have an endless wallet. Because I don't think it's just like shit they can do to these players is ego driven. They out here doing stupid shit. Honestly, chains, and I don't think he's gonna be able to do that in Denver. Like that's why I think Joker's having a great time out there. He's like, I know you're trying to be out on this shit. He ain't trying to go down Hollywood Boulevard, be in the Lambo and shit. Like you probably couldn't even try that motherfucker in Denver and be safe in that motherfucker. Like, let's be real.
Be icy as fuck out there.
You got the supercar and that motherfucker about to get sleeted. You getting some sleet. Some straight up motherfucking sleet. You gonna fuck up your $500,000 fucking Lambo out that bitch. You need a Land Cruiser or some shit. They got some all 4x4 and shit. But that's what I'm saying. Like, they're gonna have to win to make motherfuckers say, okay, so I'm gonna take my $200 million to Denver real quick and be happy and not want to leave this bitch in a quick jump. So I think it's gonna be it's a certain type of player that's gonna survive out there. But like getting back to your point of it is a place where they're gonna win. You do gotta be forward thinking. You got all this other peripheral bullshit. You gotta be like, I'm out here for these rings. Like I'm trying to win because you're gonna get that if you're there, but you're gonna probably have to be locked in and focused because ain't a lot of shit to distract you. I don't think Denver known for food. Like Texas is known for food on the side. You know, I'm like, I don't know just the states of all the 50 states we got. This is almost like being stuck in Milwaukee or just a random ass place. Like, so you better be doing some shit. That's what I'm thinking. They got this championship under their belt, but I think they're in a place that they can be like a three-peat kind of shit, and that's gonna really make motherfuckers say, you know what? I don't need no hoes right now. I do need a championship though.
But that's my point though. I mean, that's literally the point that I was making. To my point earlier, like what you're describing is a veteran mindset. So the deeper you get into your career, the more finite you're like, ooh, I'm like, I got less years on the back end than I do on the front end. Yeah. Like I gotta position myself so that I am going to have a legacy worth discussing, right? Outside of just making the league and being an NBA player for X amount of years. And so I think it's interesting, but you bring up a great point in that, like, it'll be interesting to see how this Denver Nuggets run, because basically the same thing happened with Golden State, right? After they won that first one, then they got back to the finals and lost it. Then they had players that were joining them literally for veterans minimum. So like David West joined for a veterans minimum. There were lots of guys that were willing to take a lot less money so that they could be a part of a winning culture and a winning team and be a part of a legacy, right? And so I think Denver, to your point, has the potential to do it, but they do have to keep winning and be there year after year after year.
Or the city got to just do some peripheral shit.
Yeah.
To go back on your example with the Golden State Warriors, it's fucking the Bay Area.
It's the Bay Area.
The tech industry. Like, these motherfuckers like, I'm going to take this low minimum, but I'm about to be exposed to motherfucking venture capitalists, and now I'm going to be an investor and shit. Because KD became an investor when he fucking popped over here for a hot second.
Yep.
So it's these other things that, the team is attractive because they winning championships, but it's all this other shit that's going on over there. And I'm pretty sure Denver got those things as well, but it's just not as publicly known or just advertised.
Yeah, Denver has the outdoors. That's it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so if you just
the
like
outdoors,
you love hiking and shit, you hike every weekend, I'll be in that bitch. Like, okay, cool, I'm gonna try some shit. But I don't think everybody wants that.
No, you're right.
The team is more locked in on real shit, like, which is the championship and playing the game. It ain't, I'm coming here to become an investor, or I'm coming here to become a movie star, or I'm coming here to eat good food. It seems like them motherfuckers here like, no, we can here play a game. I love basketball. I got drafted. I'm gonna just do my shit. It doesn't seem like it's all this extra shit.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of that comes down to what we talked about earlier, like your scouting department, your draft, your GM, like finding guys that fit the culture that you have created, right? Yeah. That's why Miami is good year over year over year, and they always surprise the motherfuckers because they're not necessarily looking for the best player. They're looking for the player that fits their culture, that can handle what's happening behind closed doors, because them motherfuckers is on your head in Miami, right? And I think
that's a good point you make right now. You gotta probably be more focused when you're in Miami, shit.
Because there's so many distractions, and so they run a really, really tight ship. So they can't draft any and all players. They are looking for specific players. They are a lot, and that's why they typically end up having the most undrafted free agents on their squad, because they looking for motherfuckers that's hungry. That's maybe had to play overseas and be away from their family for a couple of years, and they finally get an opportunity to come back home and play in front of domestic fans, and they like, yeah, man, I know it's a lot of bad women out here, I know it's a lot of beautiful women out here. I know it's a lot of this and a lot of that in Miami clubs.
I could just get my ego because you won't be in the section. Like, you gonna be having the ball. I'm pretty sure it's a distraction.
Exactly.
I could imagine that you gotta be focused. Like, all right, I gotta play this game.
There is a reason why James Harden does not play for Miami, because he would not. It just wouldn't work, right? Like, he would be late to practice. He would be tired because he would be in the club all the time. Like,
it's
all
Philly
the time
for clubs. Like, it's
I don't know. I'm not sure. I've never,
because he was in the clubs though. Even when he was in Philly, right? That's why it was. He was in the shit.
But no, he would fly to Vegas. He would fly back to Houston.
So he wasn't doing it in Philly.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he was doing some things in Philly, but he would fly to he would fly to Miami. He would take days off, or on days off he would take flights he would go.
Yeah. So y'all can imagine he had it right on the doorstep.
And so there's a reason for those things. And so I think to your point earlier, it'll be interesting to see how things shake out with Denver. But I agree. I think they have an opportunity to go on a dynasty type run. Let's finish up with the Golden State side of it.
Oh, damn.
Thoughts on just kind of where they are in their season right now. They're kind of like meddling right now. They're hovering around 500, meaning that they've basically lost as many games as they've won. Maybe they've lost a few more games than they've won. Obviously, Draymond is still suspended.
That's what I want to know. Draymond, is he? I don't think he was in the game. I don't think he was.
No. So this
could have been a factor too that affected the gameplay.
Absolutely. Essentially, he has not been around the team since he's been suspended.
Damn.
And they are hoping. It sounds like his suspension is probably going to be 11 to 13 games or so, which is around what we thought. We thought it'd be like 10 to 15. My hope is that he's just been focusing on himself and trying to figure out whatever there is to figure out, if there is anything to figure out. Right? It could just be as simple as, don't fucking choke, motherfuckers. Like, it could just be that simple, right? Like, it could just like that's the affirmation.
Yeah.
Don't kick, motherfuckers.
I will not choke you today. I won't choke a motherfucker out today.
But yeah, what are your thoughts on where the Warriors are right now, and kind of how do you feel about them overall and their ability to potentially compete for a championship this year?
I think they're always a threat. Like, I think that's, even with like pieces missing, they're always gonna give you some trouble. And that was clearly what happened early in the game with the Nuggets. Like, motherfuckers was losing by a lot. So they obviously had all the weaponry there, but it was offensively without Draymond being there for the defense side. So I'm wondering, like, if Draymond can just get back and they throw him in there. Like, because I just, at the end of the day, I don't think, like, even if he didn't do no conditioning, like, he literally just need to be on your ass. That's it. And don't get ejected. It makes a difference. He don't score a lot of points. He don't do a bunch of blocks. He just make life hard for motherfuckers out there.
Yeah.
So if he can come back and make life hard without getting ejected for another 4 or 5 games,
That's the key, though.
And that's where, like you said, I think if he just takes the time, not even working on conditioning, just working on whatever he need to do to not get ejected, whether that's being, like, maybe, I think he should take magic classes. He can just hit you in your nuts and you don't even know he hit you in the nuts. Like, he just gotta do it more, like,
sleight of hand.
Yeah, do it more slightly. Like, he just elbows the fuck out the back of your head. You like, God damn it, I'm bleeding. Well, we didn't see it. Like, but he did it, and you just leaking. Like, God damn it, Draymond. He took 3 weeks off just to learn magic. Like, he just out here fucking y'all up still. Like, Draymond don't even move. He like this. Next thing you just, oh, my nuts, and you fall to the side like, Draymond did it. Ref be like, I didn't see Draymond do it. Draymond was like this. That'll be fucking tight, because I think his presence is needed. Like, that game clearly showed, like, I think they would have had that game. You down by that much, and then Draymond keep you from doing anything because he's just there.
Yeah, because if anything, he would have been enough of an irritant for Jokic that he may have missed a few more shots that would have gotten
not them be able to clear a 20-point deficit.
Yeah,
like, I'm just like, damn, okay. So I think they still are in there because it's not a Ja Morant suspension where this motherfucker gone for the rest of the fucking season. Like, right. You know he ain't coming back. Draymond's coming back. It's a matter of when and how they gonna make it seem like it's fair for him to come back. Because I think that's what right now probably a whole bunch of players just fucking complaining and shit. Like, Draymond do this shit all the time. They gotta just make the players. They gotta do something to make the players okay with him coming back. Well, we tried. So, like, it's when.
Yeah.
And when he comes back, it seems like it's going to be it's just going to add to the team. I don't think it's going to be a distraction.
Yeah.
Like, Golden State going to be able to still make a good run for at least a playoffs guaranteed, but probably, like, I don't see them taking it because I just think Denver's just going to fuck some shit up low key. Because of course the Spurs ain't going to be what I thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
But
yeah. We know. Spurs are not winning a championship this year. We knew this at the beginning of the year, but Ayati has finally come to the conclusion that they're not winning. And it's all because he finally got to watch some highlights in the game and saw that they don't pass the ball to Wemby.
It's like I said,
there's no way they can win if they don't pass the ball to Wemby.
The assumption I was basing my championship run on is still true if Wemby got the ball.
Yeah.
And he ain't just going to, he's not going to get the ball.
But he's not going to get the ball.
Unless Papa just goes back in the back room and say, look, y'all just get the ball to Wemby.
Yeah. I wonder who leads the Spurs in shots. Like, I wonder who gets the most shots on the team, because I have a sneaky suspicion that Wemby is not number one on that list.
He just probably got a high percentage.
Yeah. It
ain't like ridiculous like it is with SGA or like even like with Joker, but it's probably high as fuck because he ain't playing that much.
Yep. He's playing like 24 minutes a game right now.
He's averaging 20 probably. Without playing.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I mean, he probably be averaging a lot more if his ass is playing.
Fair. So, yeah. No, I agree.
But back to the Warriors.
Yeah, well, I just have one thing to say about the Warriors. Like, I'm on the other side of the spectrum. Like, you think that they're still dangerous and a contender. I am going to say that, like, to me, the run is over. It's over. I think
they not get into the playoffs.
I think they'll make the playoffs, or they'll probably make the play-in, and then we'll kind of see.
And then when they in the playoffs, do you think they give trouble to anybody they got to play against? Like, will it be just easy work for whoever they got to play against?
Yeah, I don't know that it'll be easy work, but I don't see them getting past the second round. They're not getting to it. They're not getting to a conference finals. They might not get out of the first round, and here's why. Okay. I think Klay is showing his age. Draymond
or showing his surgery.
Yep, Draymond is showing his age.
Or his ass?
Both. He's doing all of the above. He's showing his age and his ass. That was great. And I think the last thing is, it sounds like there are some, like, I think the younger players that didn't get kind of baptized into this, like right in the middle of the dynasty run of Steph, Clay, Dre, and the Warriors and Steve Kerr. I think some of those younger players are starting to get a little bit disgruntled. Like, I saw some reports about Jonathan Kuminga feeling like Steve Kerr can't really help him unlock his full potential. So I think there's a little bit of pushback in the locker room. And so I just don't know that this team is as connected as they have been historically. And we just talked about this in the first part of the show in regards to the Spurs. Like, there's something going on behind the scenes where Wemby's not getting the ball. So in my opinion, I think there's something going on behind the scenes with the Warriors where their chemistry isn't right. And last year it was like, oh, okay, we kind of know what it is. Like, it was Draymond fucking socking the shit out of Jordan Poole. Like, yeah, it's hard.
I was talking about everybody.
Yeah, it's hard to be cool when one of your teammates then like stole on your ass. So, but this year, like, that is gone, right? They shipped Jordan Poole out. And they're still sputtering. And so I'm just not confident. And I'm also just not confident that Draymond Green is going to come back and do a 180. Like, he's not going to come back and be he's not going to be a stoic basketball player.
Yeah, you're not.
Like, I think there's a solid chance that he gets ejected again within the next month or two, within a month or two of him coming back. So those are my thoughts on the Warrior. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, because I do, on some level, I do root for them. Unless they're playing the Lakers. Obviously, we established that in a previous episode. But yeah, man, that's my thoughts. Any final thoughts on everything that we talked about before we wrap this up?
I'll just chime in on just the Warrior part. What's that one dude name you said? They said he's disgruntled.
Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah, I'm not gonna feed in that he's disgruntled.
Well, he's been disgruntled since last season because he wasn't getting the playing time that he thought he deserved last season. This year, obviously, when Draymond was on the team, or when Draymond was with the team, he's still on the team, but when he was with the team and playing, he wasn't getting as much playing. He was getting a little bit more than he was last year, but he still wasn't getting what he thought he deserved, right? And so now that so what I think is interesting is that Draymond Green has been gone for a number of weeks now for this suspension. Jonathan Kuminga has been starting. He's been getting starter level minutes, and he's still not happy. And so I think,
so he just ain't a happy motherfucker.
There you go. And so
but he ain't the guy either, apparently, because they ain't winning.
No, exactly. That is also my point. And so I think this goes back to what we were talking about with these younger players, right? Like, they're thinking about, it's about me.
I gotta be out here.
I gotta get points. I gotta get minutes. I gotta get run. It's like, nah, motherfucker. Like, you were just on a championship team 2 years ago. Like, the fact that you know what it takes to win a championship because you were on the team when y'all won the championship. Yeah, you didn't play significant minutes in that playoff run, but you know what it takes to get there. You know that you have to die to self in order to get to that goal. So what it tells me is that you don't give a fuck about that shit at all. You don't give a fuck about winning championships, and that's just because he's young. He's not going to realize it until his ass gets sent to fucking Washington like Jordan Poole did and left to your own devices. You end up, you know what I'm saying? Or they ship his ass to fucking Detroit, and and he's on a losing ass team getting all these minutes but can't win a game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I think it's just one of them things, man. I think really that's kind of the thing. It feels like that's the theme of the episode. Old versus young, and the mentality that you have. And how it impacts your career, and also how it impacts how you move and shake on the team that you're currently on.
Yeah, cool, humbleness, and pulling yourself down a little bit.
Yeah,
just to make sure shit get done right.
Yeah,
like, it's clearly not happening. Like, maybe it comes easier for other people. It's a competitive sport, so maybe you're just so used to having to be competitive that you ain't got no time to be humble and let the other person take the spotlight. Cause they are, like you said, they were probably the hot shit back in high school and all throughout college, and now I'm not the hot shit, and it's a slap in the face. But clearly, some sides is working, some sides it ain't.
Well, folks, that's all we got for today.
Yeah,
That was some good conversation. We covered Wemby, we covered Giannis. We didn't really talk that much about Steph Curry or the Chris Paul injury, but maybe we'll hit that in another episode.
Oh yeah, you love talking about how he be reaching shit.
I'm telling you, bro.
Like broke that hand.
Broke that hand again, doing some shit he probably wasn't supposed to be doing. I didn't see the highlight, but I can almost guarantee he was probably reaching and grabbing for some shit he shouldn't have been reaching and grabbing for. Got caught up in that shit. But anyway, that's another topic for another day.
That's another episode. I love it.
But yeah, we talked about Wemby. We talked a little bit about Giannis and the Bucks. We talked about Golden State, and we talked about Denver. 4 teams that I think all are in different places in their journey. But yeah, it was good shit, man.
Yeah, I think so, brother.
Yeah.
I like it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and so we hope you all liked what you heard today. So yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, all of the above. Turn your notifications on because we definitely want y'all to rock with us and know when new content is coming out. But with that being said,
stay casual. I almost said bye, motherfucker.